Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and yes, it is another Saturday night, and we start tonight's proceedings exactly where we started some 10 hours ago, on Northumbria's and Durham's imperial monument, so to speak, to those who died in the service. Quite a sight, that, isn't it? And even in the glow of early twilight, that is quite a sight. In fact, to be honest, since we're only less than 2 days away from having the shortest night of the year, it probably might be bright as this even in the middle of the night. And to cast your mind back to what I was up to many hours ago, is that I was doing litter picking from the beginning to the very bottom of Northumberland Street, and surprisingly not quite all of my work has been undone. I mean, there is of course work that has been undone, but take a look. See, again, it's very standard fare, or standard fare as far as, you know, pigs are concerned, because they literally can't find a bin to save their lives. But as I mentioned before, with all this greenery and shrubbery around here, and back to what I was saying before, somebody lobs a loose cigarette in there, could easily start a fire. But with that being said, I still don't feel as if like my work's been completely undone, because it's still, well, for what it's worth, it's still very, very bright, it's still very, very colourful, and it's surprisingly actually very well kept. But then again, not everybody would go out of their way to just lobby trash. Well, some of them do, yes, obviously. I mean, this was definitely not here when I was working this morning. But what can I say? As long as, you know, no trouble gets started, no harm, no foul, then I think everything is fine. And again, it's surprising just for what they're worth. The city does take on a very, very strange sort of, not febrile air, but it's a very different sort of atmosphere this time of year, because it's still quite it's cool enough that you would probably be better off with a jacket, but it's also, what's the nicer way to put it, it still feels as if like there's a very specific sort of chill in the air, and I don't know whether that's just owing to the change of the seasons, but I'm talking more, you know, socially. There is a bit of a change in the atmosphere, and it made me ponder and wonder that perhaps maybe somewhere at this moment in time, like how I do my videos where I talk about we've got such and such a time until the end of the year, or we get to the end of the British summertime, it made me wonder, maybe just maybe, that there's also somebody out there at this moment who's thinking the exact same thing. Almost a bizarre form of kindred spirit, who, as time goes on, we pay more and more attention to the changing of the seasons, the coming and going of the months, the weeks, the days of the year, and sometimes trying to make sense of it all just means getting out there and living your life. And that's always been how it is for the last couple of days, is that ever since I got this love and joy back into my life, all I've done is go through my days with a particular flair, a certain je ne sais quoi, a savoir-faire to my proceedings, which is to do the sort of things that I always wanted to do, to speak my mind, to say everything that I want to say, and to do everything that I still can and want to do. And sometimes that means coming out here in the twilight of the early evening, as the clock is still showing 6 minutes past 10, although it's kind of stuck there, that clock over there, just beside Card Factory. But again, just the view, for one, stretching all the way into Gateshead over there, is just beautiful. In fact, to be honest, if I had the sense to go buy myself a very, very powerful and expensive SLR camera, I could literally, or probably even a drone, I could literally tell stories upon stories between building, of the sky, of the glare, of everything. And then there's the people that live here. And the people that live here also have a story to tell. Every single person in the city, every single person in the county, every single person in the country, with a mind, a personality, a voice, all of its own. And the stories you can tell, and the stories they have to tell, must be beyond description. They must be fantastic. And that's a curious other little notion that has sort of creeped unexpectedly back into my life. And that is my love and admiration of other people. Sometimes I would go through my days with a feeling that there is no such need for red-hot pokers and sinister devils. Hell is simply put other people. But thankfully, that's not me anymore, for what that's worth. Life is continuous, life goes on, and to be honest, even the people that are in it, even those who would consider me their enemies, I have a very certain filial respect for them. It's hard to describe what this respect entails because, well, what exactly are you supposed to say or do or believe for people who hate everything about you, hate everything that you stand for, everything that you are in support of, and hate everything that you oppose? How exactly are you supposed to share a level of respect that you can't really find in any other way? How exactly do you overcome such a hurdle as that? And it's not the easiest thing in the world. That is certainly true. But you know what? I also like to believe you just want to get on.
What is it?
Doing a little thing for YouTube about the nightlife here in the city.
Oh, it's
is
cool,
cool.
right?
Oh, it's
You
nice.
just have to know the places.
Sometimes, yeah.
You have to know what
Are you from Newcastle?
Oh, aye. Pontyland.
Who's been gone? Who's been gone?
It's
host
shit.
Events.
Oh,
No,
really?
host good events. You just have to know what they want to get.
Oh, you need someone to get the word out. You need somebody who knows.
Who's
what they
been
want
gone? Special delivery.
Yeah. If you want to know good place, go to Mimo's.
to. Nemo's is really
Nemo's.
good, to be fair.
Mimo's is good, innit?
Mimo's is modern house. It's good.
Mimo's is great.
Never go to Soho.
Don't go Soho.
Never
Don't
ever go to Soho.
Oh, it's funny that I was at Soho last week.
Yeah, but you have to pay £10 again and shit.
just
really.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't stay too long.
Yeah.
It's the people there. It's the people there.
Yeah,
Uni students.
well, it's that type of city now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's changing.
Anyway, yeah, and it certainly
Yeah,
is.
no.
I'll see you. Thanks for that, guys.
I'll see you about
cheers. Cheers. And so, yeah, as we're saying, it's just through interactions like that is absolutely what I'm talking about. And I think I've been to Oosburn Gardens like once about last year, and I didn't really like. It looked good, but I didn't really have really an impression of it. But you know what? Maybe on another day, there is something to behold about such a place. But again, because I have no real opinion about it, it means that I can't judge it one way or the other. But what I do know is that give it a go, and hopefully one of these days I will give Oosburn Gardens another little go. In fact, to be honest, ever since getting back and everything getting back on track, there's actually quite a lot of things I want to be able to try out, and there's also just as much I want to be able to try and try again and fail again and try again even more. There's too much that I feel like I've sidelined myself in life through years of doubt, anger, anguish, regret. And but I think there's also been just as many things I've embraced and learned and tried and failed and tried again and failed again, and then tried a very different way to get what I'm asking for. And guess what? It's not quite over yet. Because anyone who's ever listened to Pink Floyd's The Wall may of course be reminiscent over the fact that, guess what, at the end, when Pink feels as if all is forgiven and he is free from the confines of the wall, he emerges on the other side and another wall is waiting for him. Yet surprisingly, this isn't really... I think that the point of stuff like that is that life goes on and there's another challenge out there, and there's something awaiting us all. And whether we like it or not, sometimes life is a bit like that. Sometimes you overcome one hurdle, one challenge, and before you know what happens, life continues on again. This wasn't really so much a case of ripping myself from the confines of the real world, but this is more, so to speak, becoming immersed once again in the world of man. And what is the world of man, you may be asking? It is everything around us. Everything that we touch, everything that we see, everything we look, own, possess, throw away, discard, everything we think, everything we've forgotten, everything we hold dear, everything we let go, everything about that is of the earth, and it will return to the earth in one form or another. And because of the feeling that everything comes from the earth and returns to the earth, it means that everything everywhere will meet each other once again. Everything is memorized, everything is remembered. Not everything is forgotten, but some things are quite easier to forget than others. And don't get me wrong, I've certainly stubbed my toe a few times along the way, but sometimes going through life is quite a lot like that. There are going to be things you didn't know about yourself, things you do know about yourself, but you struggle to make people see eye to eye. And as I continue to go through life, I start to notice a small pattern of, well, this is almost the exact same thing I said 6 years ago. And to be honest, I've known the rhetoric, I've known the story for years. But what good did that ever do me? I mean, in the words of the famous song, the more I see, the more I know, the less I understand. But what exactly is there to know and like understand about life? And I kind of wanted to give it a shot of like Gray's Monument behind there, because it is so much bigger in the rear view mirror sometimes. Anyway, as I was saying again, trying to get through the days, trying to go through this world, knowing what I know and trying to stand by with what I believe about what I know, it always comes under questioning. It always comes under testing, because sometimes I know fine well what I am doing. I know fine well what I know my own mind probably better than anything else I know. But I feel as if like, well, but does that make me right and wrong in the world that I live in? Because the world in here is not like the world out here. Okay, so what's it to call about it? We all know that, you know, life is fleeting, short, and as soon as we call up to speed on things, well, we've kind of had no choice to come to terms with things. But what next? Or what is the next part? And what do we do next? And, well, is it a case of getting there faster? Or what I'm trying to say is that where exactly is my life going? And what exactly do we do when we get there? And what do we do if we don't get there? Because I have had my dreams crushed along the way. I've had problems here and there in terms of trying to articulate my thoughts. But I sometimes think, do I do that because I know deep down inside, I know exactly what I'm talking about, and not everybody sees eye to eye or understands my methodology? Or is it because my ideas are too alien in this world? Is the problem, am I just too different? And I think, is it an alien distinction of difference? Is that what the problem is sometimes? Because I genuinely do believe sometimes the difference or the problems I face has a lot to do with difference. Am I just different from other people? Am I just too much my own person? Am I just too much my own person that I don't know exactly how to go about being in the real world? Is that what the problem is? Because we've just somehow started getting straight back into big market. I didn't quite anticipate all of this, and they kind of like called it off quite a lot of the big market. So I'm going to be careful where I stand. And well, here's the thing: I've never, at any one stage of my life, before, past or present, been shy or been particularly reticent about being myself. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I want to fit in because it would kind of make sense to get along with people sometimes. Not always, but I know deep down inside it's probably maybe for the best. But I also know deep down inside that it's just as much to stay as my own person. And I think that's always been this curious little mark in the back of my mind, is that I know that all too well, and I've never really shied away from being anything other than my own person. And I don't think I would want that any other way. And you know what? If I am different from other people, it is only the result and not the cause of my way of life, the way I choose to do things. And as I partake to mention before, being out in the real world. Hello.
Hi, what are you videoing?
Just cameras on this way.
Hi, what are you videoing?
Just doing a little video about nightlife here in the city.
Wow.
Just.
Do you want me to answer a question?
What's up?
Do you want me to answer a question?
Yeah. Am I going well then? I guess. Great.
Amazing.
Superb. Hey, enjoy your night. Ah well, it is one of those things. Hello. Not bad. So yeah, what else can I say? It's just, and you know what? I don't even pretend I don't even pretend to admit to being different. And you know what? Different is I wouldn't have it any other way, because that's just who I am. And I even had this out last week, is that if people do have an issue with me, if people do legitimately have a problem, you know what? I suggest they come out and they talk to me about it, and we can sort it out here from there. It's a very, very easy thing to do, and to be honest, well, I've managed to defend myself a few times before when it comes to stuff like this, and I'm certainly not afraid to do it again. And what can I say? Some people are fine with it, quite a lot of people aren't, but to be honest, what difference does that make? Not much. Am I going to continue doing what I do? Yes. Have I done anything wrong? No. And if that's the way people want to see it, then so be it. In fact, to be honest, sometimes I'm glad some of the videos that I make get the low sort of views. They don't even make any. You want to get on? Sometimes I'm you know, the reason why I'm glad for that is because even when I do these sorts of, the camera's on me. Do you want to? Never mind. So, because when these sorts of things do happen, and I speak very candidly, and I'm very, very just open to what I say and what I do, then you know what? I'm glad, because that's just what I've chosen to do. And if people miss out on stuff like that, then you know what? So be it. I'm not here to, patronize people. I'm not here to, do the things. Hello. Yeah, that's me. I'm not here to, ridicule people like that. I know perfectly well what I am and what I'm about, so guess what? We will just carry on like that. And I think I mentioned it before about, if people have got an issue, then you know what? I couldn't really care less, because guess what? If I've done nothing wrong, then what should it matter about what I do? Because I know fine well, the camera's on me, I speak candidly, I just talk about stuff, I go about my business, and it's about as simple as that. And I don't see for any one reason why I should stop. And I'll go one further. Guess what? I will just say it as it is, and I will continue to go about my business. And if I keep telling myself that, then guess what? It certainly will come to fruition. Because not everybody, for whatever reason, I think the problem is, again, it's almost an immediate judgment angle and stuff like that. Because these people all some people don't know who I am or what I'm all about, then you know what? It would be easy to write me off as something that I'm not, and it means that people can say whatever they want about me without fear of judgment. But here's the funny thing about judgment. You know what? He is without sin and all that. And I think when you come to stuff like that, I've got no. What have I got to worry about? Nothing. And do I need to have a reason to worry? No, not really. And do I have a reason to stop in spite of some of the things? Because some of the things that do happen to me when I'm out on this aren't particularly very nice. But what I will admit to, as we're going on right now, hello. But what I will admit to, how the way things go on, is that, guess what? I'm just putting myself out there, and I'm just living my life, and I can't live my life without any fear, because I know deep down inside I will, of course, run into people who straight up are theoretically opposed to me as a person, even after they get to know me. And I think when that happens, I just think it's incredibly sad, because if people are going to, I would suggest people come talk to me first before they start making rash decisions, because, well, it would be so easy for everyone to get the hello.
Ah, you alright?
Oh, not bad. It would be so easy for people to get on the wrong end of the stick, and it's just not really playing the game, and especially on a Saturday night. And they say that nothing ever good ever happens in the night time, but then people are just losers. Hello. Anyway, so I suppose whilst we're also here, and I think this is like the perfect spot, because like the shot just of the castle in the far distance against the lighting right here, if we could just zoom in, and it's actually, to be fair, this camera is really, really good for like zoom ins and stuff like that, because the detailing of the castle, the detailing of the cathedral is superb, and even when you pull the camera back out again, I've always felt like this camera had like an issue with perspective. Hello. But I suppose, I suppose while we're here, we may as well do a little bit of a plug right now, because is Cozy Joe's like quite a good place to go to? Because I always see these cards flying about saying, you know what, spend 10 quid, you get a free shot at Cozy Joe's. Because I've never been into Cozy Joe's, somebody would have to let me know, because I think the distance between this and like a kebab shop is really decent. But who knows? Maybe there's more to behold about places like that. And well, maybe that's just how it is. So I'm also, even at this stage of proceedings, I'm wondering, Dog and Parrot sounds good right about now, and we'll just see what happens, because I always do like to start these nights out, or start these sorts of evenings, by just always making some sort of logical leap of faith, if you will, as to sort of why I do these sorts of videos, and why it's important for me to get my words out there, even if the view count is like low for these sorts of things. Well, guess what? If the view count is low, and you may remember me saying this before, is that the people who are watching, I think they count all the more, because they're the ones who actually do watch, and they're the ones who actually possibly hear some of the things that I'm saying. So, whilst we're also here, William the Younger, and I wonder if that's like a reference like William Pitt, former Prime Minister, and they promote fine ales and craft beer. It's is it Swaley's, or is it called the Black Boy Inn? Because, well, if it's called the Black Boy Inn, why is it like painted green? Not entirely sure why, but you never know. There may be something in there. You never know. It's we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, whilst we are also here, let's get a proper view of the cathedral, because honest to God, well, church, but you get the idea. was some side that is. Anyway, let's keep the party rolling, shall we? As we make our way over to the Dog and Parrot, and of course, past pretty much another strong Irish bar. And whilst we're also on our way through like the back end, like some of the streets down here in the city, I also had, because I know Manhattan is like just across the street, but I also do have to ask the question about whether or not Katie O'Brien's is like, I mean, it certainly does leave a mark, you know, with like all the Irish flags and all that. But I wonder if it's like even better when you go in, because the green lights are, you know, really, really like at night. This must get really, really good ideas. I think it's because it's from the other side of the street when you wait to get into Manhattan. And, tell me, is Katie O'Brien's any good? Is Katie O'Brien's any good? Doing a little video for YouTube about like nightlife in the city.
No, we've got serious jobs, we can't be on that. I'm trying to fucking on it.
Oh, well, never mind. Anyway, cheers for that. Well, anyway, as I was saying before, yeah, stand on the other side of the street and you get a view of Katie O'Brien's. You know, maybe there is something to be said about this place, but it certainly looks really, really well kept, and as it is. So yeah, let's keep it rolling and we keep going. Hello. Oh, not bad, yeah. Just do a little documentary. Hello. Happy birthday, Shannon.
My birthday. Happy birthday. Hola.
Have a nice night.
Thank you.
Cheers. So yeah, O'Brien's looks very, very body Irish, and I think it's because also the music inside is a very very, very Irish charm, and it's just as well I discuss Katie O'Brien's, because then we have to see, you know, this piece of garbage right here. I know next to nothing about whether this place is like, you know, even still open, about what on earth it is like inside. But I always feel like having, you know, blacked out windows is always a very double-edged sword, because you can't see what goes on inside, but you also can't see the outside world from the inside. So it's got to be good as inside to not want to stand out, want to go back outside. But well, how on earth how can you know the difference, and how can you tell? I don't know these sorts of things, and even though as we just come past Soho rooms and stuff like that. Now those two lads earlier, they did tell me to like stay away from that sort of thing, and yeah, it does seem a little bit too bouncy. I do kind of prefer like an actual like furnished pub setting, because here's the thing, you got an Irish tavern just across the street and Revolution's just outside here. I don't exactly know on the top of my head how long this has been Revolution's, but must have been here for a while, and probably this whole district right here must have been on Newgate Street, must have been like Bank City or something like that, because the sighting up here is absolutely, you know, prime bank setting. Hello. And yeah, thankfully it has just sort of got to that part of the night where it's probably better to like go out with a coat and stuff like that. So a lot of Newgate Street is prime bar territory, and it's sort of on the very cusp of Revolution's right here. And to be fair, there's always been traffic outside of Revolution's, and that's probably due to the fact that it's so close to Nando's, and it's also so close. Hello. It's also so close to Nando's, the central station, the hotel. There was a fire here earlier today outside the hotel, and I'm assuming it was fairly, you know, self-contained and stuff like that, but you never really know with these sorts of things, especially because a lot of the news hello, don't worry, the camera's on me, sister, you don't need to worry. Do you want to get on?
You're a vlogger?
Yeah, do that sort of thing.
Hi! What's your name?
Jimmy Frank.
Jimmy Frank. On YouTube?
Actually, I do have a very interesting way how to get me a link on YouTube now.
How many subscribers do you have?
1,034.
That's good.
Well,
On YouTube?
Yeah.
What's the name?
Raging Reality 1.
Will we be in the thing?
Anything you want to say? Yeah, of course. So no reason why not.
Hi, I love Harry Styles.
Who doesn't?
Yes! Write down his name. I want to watch it and see if I'm in it.
I know, right? Anyway, night going well and all that?
Yeah.
Yes.
2 more bars, then
Feet are hurting.
I'm trying a 46-year-old try and nettle those.
Maybe he gets
I
knocked out.
politely refused.
Politely refused, yeah. To be fair, yeah.
Can I write your name down?
Yeah, of course.
I really hope this is in the vlog.
Yeah, of course it was. I mean, you know, it's what I live for and all that, to get to talk to people and stuff like
Really?
that. It's because there are some people who do take offence and stuff like that, but that's one of the joys of living in this city. Is very few people do, and the Rajis that do, well, guess what? They're gonna get blown up just for being Rajis and stuff like that. There's nothing to gain from that bullshit.
What's the name?
Raging Reality 1. If you
Like
want to
that?
find us on YouTube. T1.
Like that?
Yeah.
Hi.
Anyways, nice to meet you and all
good
that,
night.
and
Yeah, man.
hope all goes well.
Stay safe.
Cheers, bye bye. First time I've ever had to use me offhand and stuff like that to hold like a little mini conversation, and yeah, I'm glad these sorts of things go as well as they do, because yeah, as I said, sometimes these things can go well, sometimes they don't, sometimes people are kind of indifferent to the whole affair, but at the same time, as we just sound like Stevenson's Quarter again, what can I say? I just I like the sights, and it is of course one of the great advantages to doing these sorts of things, is that actually being able to meet people that I wouldn't be able to meet in like any other way. And I was right about what I was saying about the city as well, was that guess what? People want to enjoy the night. People want to go about their business. People don't want to spend the nights in lock and key. People just sort of want to get on, and people just sort of want to do their thing, and who am I to stop them? I'm just doing my thing as much as anybody else, and there's very little do to actually stop that. It's just the way of things, and we carry on, because I think the sun has just about disappeared over the horizon, and just over the horizon is the dog and parrot. So away we go, I guess. It's a beautiful evening though, but and I know it's just gone after 10 o'clock, and it's still, I can't actually remember the last time it was light after 10 o'clock at night. Oh well, here's how it is. And you know what? I will see all of you guys again when we get to the dog and parrot. So that's a good idea. Well, it's that time once again, and I thought the music would be a little bit lower the last time I was here, but guess what? It's that time of the week again, and a good time to suddenly rest my legs just a little bit, because listen, it is going to be quite a bit of a walk back up to Northumberland Street anyway, but since we're out here, let's see if we can make it a good one again. And who knows, even back in the city for a whole week, like just the atmosphere and everything that's been going on around here has been superb. But of course, whilst there have been a few stumbles along the way, I just want to be able to know if we have sort of what it takes to take everything that we do almost to the next level, because I always try to speculate what would be really good places to meet up and stuff like that, and it even says on the awning, meet me on the corner, which is a really good slogan for the tourist board, I reckon, and stuff like that. And I do quite like to, it's got a great social buzz, the Dog and Parrot does, and I can't really get through one of these without first singing the praises of this little piece of history. And again, as far as things go, it's been quite a good evening so far. I feel like I managed to get out what I had to get out, and now we're gonna just sort of sit back, relax, and just see where the evening takes us. Very standard Saturday night, and it is, as far as things goes, quite good round here, and I'll take that any day of the week. But what I also do suspect a little bit as far as doing these videos go is, well, does it make me stand out that much the way I do, the way I go about a business, the way I do my videos? Because in one way I think it certainly does, but I also would like to say, is that what people really want to see? Because I know there will be plenty of people would love to see, you know, it seems to make sense to like big up your own town, big up the place you live. Sometimes, however, I feel like it's just one of those things that isn't. But it all depends on really who you come across and who you talk to and stuff like that, and see what goes on in the city. Don't worry, the camera's all facing me and all that. Well, anyway, so anyway, as I was saying, what can I say? It's just sort of how you want to go about it's just sort of how you want to go about things. And well, that's the way I would love to like structure these videos, like going forwards, is positive vibes only. That's the way I would love to do it. It's just sometimes we live in a world that isn't always inclined to being positive vibes only. Sometimes people do come and try and nibble your fingers. Some people try and hack them off. Some people are just sort of after trouble, and well, some people are just, you know, as they say, agents of chaos. And there's very little you can actually do about people who are, so to speak, agents of chaos. You just sort of you gotta make do, and guess what? They're the ones who miss out, because as I was saying to those on Stevenson Quarter, what do people have to gain when they get themselves on this and they just act like dicks? What exactly do they have to gain for acting that way? They don't have anything to gain from this. I'm the one who has everything to gain, because they're the ones who make themselves out to look like morons, and here I am just sort of going about my business and not harming anybody, not doing anything wrong to anybody. So what are people going to be upset about? I don't know why, but that's just sort of how it is. But what I also do find kind of strange, and it has created a strange little feedback loop, and in some small way the way I do this, is that even when the camera's on me, people still somehow take offense. And people somehow still don't believe the idea that, guess what, the camera really is on me. Because I've had people take snide photographs of me before when I've been doing my videos and the camera's been on me. And guess what? Well, what exactly is all that about? Somebody of course they didn't know the camera was on me, but guess what? So what? They've been made to look like the weirdo for, you know, taking pictures of me for whatever reason. And whilst I don't quite remember anyone, you know, coming to my rescue for stuff like that, but I don't need anybody's rescue. I don't need anybody's, you know, help. And I've got used to the idea of, you know, not asking for help for a long time, because guess what? I'm perfectly capable of standing on my own 2 feet. That's just sort of how things have gone. What is very different, on the other hand, is that, well, when I do ask for help, nobody really seems that interested. Sometimes people are, sometimes people aren't, and sometimes I don't get help right at the moment when I need it the most, and sometimes I do get help exactly at the moment when I did not ask for it. So it's a strange one, and I don't think I've ever been brave enough to just say to anyone that, you know, I did not ask for help, and why on earth are people getting involved? But I'm sure people would. Do I take that stance too personally? maybe I do, but who knows? That's just sort of how. Sometimes that's just how things go and stuff like that. But what exactly have I got? What have I got to worry about again? Not much, but that's how it is. And well, if but I think that's just also comes into effect when I say being free for the war and having like love and respect come back to my life is that I know quite well I have absolutely all the ways in which I can say, you know what, I want help and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, once again, I am only human, and being human means, well, being afflicted with pride and all that comes with it. But what can I do? What can I do, eh? This is just the way I've gone about my business, and this is just how I go about my life, and I have got nothing to fear, and I have got nothing to worry about, because I will continue to live my life without fear, anguish, doubt, or any of that sort of stuff lingering in my heart. If I want to enjoy myself, I will enjoy myself, and there's literally nothing that anybody can say and or do to take me down. Boy howdy, have I done enough talking already? Because even my throat's starting to go a little bit sore. I think now's the time for a zesty drink. Hello. Don't worry, there's nobody sitting here if you want to. Yeah, of course, yeah, don't worry. Been quite a night so far, eh?
Yeah!
So it hasn't even got midnight yet. I've been sat out here for the last 90 minutes and just take a look at this crowd. Is this the best food for all Newcastle? Can this like get any better? Well, wait and see, eh?
Amy's got something to say.
Go on.
I love this fruit.
That's true.
Billy, do you love us? Do you love us?
Yes, I do.
Jimmy, do you love us?
Yes.
Yes! Do we love Jimmy? Yes! Jimmy on his one. He's going on Cambridge.
I just want to drink in there. I just want to go in the dog and parrot.
I just want to dance with the brother. Look, if you scan the keyring, it comes up as YouTube.
What a fucking boy!
Hey! Do you want to get that go? Just to prove I've got life.
Billy, give me one.
Go on, just to prove I've got bullshit. Yeah, that's on.
That's my camera, bro. It's still on.
I think you just go for that. Screw that shit, but yeah, try that.
Watch!
Shout out Alex Payne. Shout out Alex Payne.
I love you, Alex.
Alex, we love you. Alex, we love you.
Stop being sick, Alex.
Alex, we love you. And your sister's a bombshell.
I'm later in the most respectful kind way possible.
Show the camera. Show the camera.
Oh, it doesn't work.
I'll do it. Hey, I'll do it for you. Camera just falls.
Oh my
Then it comes up.
There we go.
Hey!
Got it, we're heading.
Always so hard like a Deep in my heart, I am warrior.
Shout out Ryan. Shout out Chris. My favourite brothers.
His favourite song of all time.
Is it fine? I think it's either song. We don't
I'm going to be a new now, buddy.
I wrote a play about a transvestite called Vincent Walker, and it was called Electric Avenue.
I bet you love Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I think I'm in it right now.
A little bit better. Right, live, don't live. Don't live.
Oh, who's that Hampton Devil?
Woo. That's my man. That's my man.
You did, you know I've done well.
Hey, Ryan. Hey, Ryan.
Don't live. Hi, Ryan.
Hey, Ryan.
Yes, hello Ryan. Oh, that that is not how sweet that is.
Oh, Jimmy.
So you join me again at nearly 1 o'clock in the morning, and honest to God, we have gone probably further into the night than we've gone before
is this
with your
on
best
YouTube?
friends. Oh, it certainly is.
Hey, YouTube.
Just exited the dog and parry. It's nearly 1 o'clock.
Guys, I've just lost my ID, but Costock and Para is the best place in the world. I found it again.
Nice.
Way.
It's because she's a forensic scientist. She's a
Dog and
forensic
Para.
scientist.
Dog and Para.
Big up dog and parry.
Totally gets a buzz, doesn't it, for this place?
Big up dog and parry. And also big up this guy. This guy.
Sweet.
Raging reality. Raging reality.
Give it a thump. Lemon. Rock. Up we trot. Yes. Goodbye now. See you later, Jimmy. Are you coming with us?
Yeah, sorry.
Never
we're not
ended,
good.
Jimmy. Sorry, I was cutting you off.
Oh, that's fine.
That's where you cut it. Finish it. It's still going.
Yeah.
Are you going home now, Jimmy?
What's,
Rise, Jimmy?
yeah, coming by. So I'll tell you what I will do. And so there we have it, guys. To give you a brief little summary about where the night has gone, I spent quite a lot of time talking to a mate of mine who I haven't seen in 7 years. I actually went into the Dog and Parrot with a number of my mates you saw earlier, and honestly, these nights are just getting more and more exciting. I love the action. I love the atmosphere. It's just one of the great buzzes of the city. You know what I mean? And yeah, if this experience is anything to go by, hope there's plenty more to come. All of a sudden, I feel like this is kind of like half the stuff I should have been doing when I was in my early 20s, not at the very end of it. Still, there's plenty more where that came from. So I'll see you guys next time.